Hi, my name is Allison Duncan. I'm a longtime member of First United Methodist Church of Elgin, and now I'm a missionary in Chiang Mai, Thailand. I'm currently on an extended furlough because of the situation with COVID-19. So if you're seeing my face right now, hi. Thank you for joining me for this motivational moment from the Bible on Mondays. So one of the scriptures we focused on during our Sunday service was Matthew 5, verses 1 through 12, which is the Beatitudes. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of God. Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven, for in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you. So I want to focus on the Beatitudes and how Jesus teaches us that we are blessed, even in hard times, because we will receive eternity in heaven. In Matthew 23, verse 12, Jesus also says, all who exalt themselves will be humbled, and all who humble themselves will be exalted. So I think about this a lot when I'm working with youth in Thailand, mostly because I work with youth who have had really hard lives. Most of them live at youth homes in a big city without their parents, so they are alone. Sometimes their parents have essentially abandoned them, and they are still seeking God. I am seriously constantly in awe of their faith and their humility and how they seek to help out other people even in their need. So I've seen time and time again how the least of these people have put others ahead of themselves. So if you know me, you know I love to tell stories. So I want to tell you a story about a specific moment in time when I was at an outreach event that these youth were putting on all by themselves. I was just along for the ride. So if you close your eyes, maybe you can visualize it with me. The rain had stopped for an hour. Well, one of our trucks was stuck in the mud, and many of the youth were working to push it out. One of the youth, Ploy, said to me, "Come on, Al, let's go tell the neighborhood about the events tonight." So 6 of us walked up this steep path to the houses at the top of the hill. Coming across a teacher at a local school, she told us about a couple of people in homes down the path who may be excited about what we're doing. So we followed the path she pointed out, which led us to a woman sitting with her daughter, maybe age 9 or 10. The youth sat down with her, boldly asking if they were Christian and if they wanted to come to our show and worship God together in the evening. And the woman said no, they weren't Christian. They weren't sure about all that. She also said how they weren't able to come because her daughter couldn't walk. Dao, who was very tiny herself, one of the youth, playfully said, "That's okay, I'll carry you." A laugh came out of my mouth, but I looked at her and realized she was completely serious. The girl shivered and said she was cold, which may have been true, but I also sensed some excitement in her bones. Dao broke into a smile, nodding at the girl. The gleam in her eyes told me she really would do whatever it takes to get the girl to the church. We went on and came across another elderly man who was eating soup at the back of his house. His neighbor told us that he couldn't walk either, so he wouldn't be able to come, and that he wouldn't understand any of the Thai that we're speaking because he only spoke a native tribal tongue. As I turned to walk away, because we couldn't talk to him, I heard Ploy boldly say, "That's okay, let's go pray for him anyway." Ploy stood up and everyone followed. As she neared the man, she spoke very clear Thai, telling him who we were, using hand signals to tell him that we were going to pray for him. The students bravely placed their hands on his legs, crying out to God for healing. Tears sprung up in my eyes as so many realizations came to my heart. I was so proud of these students. Not a lot of adults came to our activities the night before, so without anyone telling them to go, they decided on their own to go invite everyone in the neighborhood during their free time. The path was slippery, it was steep, and really far, but Their heart for these people showed as they desperately wanted everyone to come and hear how great our God is. And even if they couldn't walk, the kids decided they'd find a way or they'd pray for them right then, because our God is greater than these things. So as we sat with our hands outstretched towards this man, I felt in my heart and saw with closed eyes how they are, in fact, already the leaders they strive to be. Over the 2 or 3 years that I've known some of these youth, I have seen so much growth in who they are and how much confidence they have in themselves. They don't have to wait for the future or to be older or more eloquent. They don't have to wait for anything to happen. They are already leaders, not because of the confidence they do or don't have, and not because of what they can do, but because of what God can do. So after praying, as we walked back towards the house we were staying in, it started to drizzle again, meaning people would surely be late to the event. But a couple of hours after the activities were supposed to start, people began coming. The mom we had invited and talked to, she walked in, hunched over completely. She turned around slowly to set something down, and I saw that her daughter, age 9 or 10, was cradled on her back. Not yet ready to let go of her mom, and maybe even a little nervous, but she was there. Afterwards, Ploy and many other youth stretched out their hands in prayer of healing for this girl. The untainted, loving hearts of these youth give me so much hope for the future. I'm so proud of the way they handled every situation thrown at them, how their hearts were all in for the people of this village, how we didn't even have to ask them to reach out or to be inclusive, they just did. It is an incredible honor to be able to see who these students are becoming as they pursue Christ and begin to share him with others, how they are meek and pure and seeking righteousness and striving to be peacemakers, how they humble themselves before others. I pray for humility like theirs. So as we go about this week, let us be reminded of humility and peace. Thanks for joining me.